Whew. Yo guys, what's up? So I got a really cool video for y'all today. If any of y'all were wondering, did I got a mute notifications? Hang on. If you're familiar with OBS, I had OBS open, so I have alerts set up for my other channel, and I just got another subscriber, so it went off. But I got the inspiration today for to make. I wanted to start now up in the ante on the type of value I'm providing over here on Solithic Shift. So I thought this would be pretty cool for y'all out there if you're wondering, how I realized that I was one with the divine, one with God, whatever we want to name it, and how I've come to know my own power and manifestation over the years. And this journal right here is actually dated back to May 12th. May 12th. Let me see if I can show you all this. May 12th. That focus. May 12th, 2022. And first entry, it's going to be reversed, but it's the first entry is true love because it was about my partner that I was with previously for 2.5 years. But I thought that even from this sticker, that this whole journal should be manifesting from a place of love. So that's this. I guess I'll call this video the origins of how I learned to manifest and how I understood that the universe is really love, and all this connection is about love, and even us separating ourselves here to experience separation, because in source we would all just be one energy floating around in the ether. So I started to really realize it's funny, years ago, I can't believe that as I embarked on the real journey of enlightenment, or whatever we want to call this journey, that so long ago there were little breadcrumbs that I've come to fully truly embody and understand now. And it's just funny how like your being naturally is leaving breadcrumbs. Like your higher self is always like 2 steps ahead. So it's funny that I always knew the truth, and still I always wondered how to do things, and the arrow was pointing back towards me. So yeah, it's cool. But this is gonna be like my part one on how I've come to manifest. And the thing is like also everything in this journal, when I get a membership settings and stuff set up on this channel, when I'm allowed to do private videos and things like that, or put things behind, that I think really are going to provide value, so you guys see exactly what I was writing, I'm going to put those in like a special thing that you could purchase if you would like, but you do not have to, because I'm basically going to sum up some of the stuff. If you really want to see how in I was going to manifest, I'm going to do that for y'all. So yeah, I guess I want to just start with part one. Yeah, so getting started with part one. I mean, I was healing my relationship with money. It's insane, because I don't come from a family where, I come from a family that's pretty like low end to middle class. I still went through a lot of struggles. Still had times where you're eating, like, you know, how can I say, like food. And my stepfather is awesome. Food was plentiful. He was a correctional officer and everything. We moved around a lot. I lived with my grandma for like the very early stages of my life to like 14. And we did everything. Like I remember when my school clothes were like Gucci and everything, but all of that stuff was thrifted in garage sales. So it was like my grandma found this garage sale where it was like all kid clothes that were just like being thrown out by somebody, but it was all high quality and stuff like that. And that's actually echoed into my adulthood, because I love thrifting, garage sales, things like that. And I always like that, and live a bit more on the frugal side. And it's just always been a natural style to me, and I like living like that. I'm not really materialistic, but um, coming from that background of like, low end, but sometimes middle class. I don't even know if the definitions are the same anymore. I would say pretty like we were well off. Like we were able to get things, be able to do certain things here and there, but for the most part, I was taken care of. But sometimes some months got hard. Pretty, to me, pretty generic story, but still, had the money beliefs in the family that I had to get over, and still I'm battling some of them today, which I say that as in like I'm able to manifest money now still, but it's very like sparing and spaced out. But we'll get into that. So right here, May 17th, 2022. I was writing, I'm abundant. I'm abundant. I accept that money flows to me. I accept that money is attracted to me. All this, I was going absolutely off, like going completely off. And I was also documenting certain things. Then on May 17th, which actually, which another cool story is, I let the love of my life read this, and she was amazed that I went at this every single day. And I was like, yeah, man, because I, where you hear some people talk about a villain mode, I had to go absolutely off. Like for me, I was like, no, I want to shift my entire life. And at this time, I had started emailing a guy that popped up. Some of y'all may be familiar with Elmer Locker Jr., who talked about how his grandpa knew Neville Goddard and was one of his students. Around that time, he's also someone for me, probably doesn't remember me too much anymore, but I don't know. Really a great asset in the beginning of my journey. I was glad to communicate with him while he was growing on YouTube. And at that time, I had started my YouTube and was doing manifestations with that, which was during this time. But yeah, I at the time, if you guys see me on another channel, one thing I talked about was the black Honda Civic that I manifested right here, May 17th, 2022 or 2022. Talked about I'm abundant. I have $10,000 in my bank account. Um, I talked about my cousin. I talked about YouTube plaques, everything. And some of that stuff didn't come to pass because, again, I personally feel like on me, definitely what I've come to know, it's because of my focus, and you get a reflection in reality of what you are and what you're choosing to be and what you embody for sure. Because a lot of these things you really, you, your higher self really knows. Like when you have certain desires, it's just so, there's just a reason you desire certain things, man. And you got to follow that, but also know that you're fulfilled and complete within yourself, which these things made me realize. These are a bit more raw because I'm actually reading it to y'all. So I'll probably get better in part two or whatever. But um, yeah, man, I'll be better. I'll be better for sure in part two. I'm just nervous, but I'm a little bit nervous because I'm like, damn, I'm really sharing, and I'm going back and seeing what I did. But May 19th, May 18th, same things. Saying money is attracted to me. Money is finding its way to me. My relationship with money is a beautiful one. My partner, love of my life, when she read this today, she actually read it today. When she read it, she liked how I wrote things in present tense. And that's exactly what I did. And at the time, I was even going through it when I was still able to manifest. I ended up staying with the person that I was with before for 2.5 years. And even here on May 20th, 2022, I wrote, well, I guess I'm at a loss with my relationship and things like that. Like I was documenting, and this is why the reason I explain this part is because some people feel like when you're manifesting that you can't slip up or you can't make mistakes. And the thing is as long as you know your identity, that you are a divine being and you're whole, and you can't be stopped, and that that before, I'm kind of saying it like that because I'm not trying to play around. I'm trying to actually be like you understand, when you embody a higher mindset, you're not going to be understood by a human mindset. This is actually someone that I really respected. um wow, 555, his name, I'll always reference him as Brother Panic. When I started to go along my spiritual journey, I started to attract certain teachers or information to me. And Brother Panic was one of the people that came up through, BOB, I think, as well. Like I found them, like it was just crazy. It's crazy how it happens. It's kind of a blur now, and I'm not trying to yap too much about it. But one thing that Brother Panic used to say is a human mind, like you guys expect like a human mind to understand the mind of God. And that's the thing you have to understand about when you come into this world of realizing what you truly, like who you truly are in essence, is that you are a divine being. And I will say this in other things, but how your mind or how your higher self operates, it's not going to be logical. And I've met people along my journey who tried to help me with this before and tell me, because I was so set in my logical ways in the beginning, where I grasped onto all this knowledge, read books and all this. But then I realized, like, seated at the right hand of the Father and all this, it was talking about the right hemisphere of the brain, your creativity, like not your logical side, because a divine mind is creation in itself. It is artistic in its own way. Not that you have to be a literal artist, though they are good representations of them. And me, I'm a music arts dancer, I would say, where I'm a freestyle dancer. I like to visualize. I like to physically visualize music flowing through my body and show that to others. Uh, cool little hint there is I remember one of my friends a long time ago would say, like, literally, dude, when people watch your videos, it's like mesmerizing. It's like you like almost hypnotize them. Like everybody wants to stop and like have to watch the video on the phone, because he said when he was showing his relatives, they like stopped and was like, hang on, I gotta watch the rest of this video all the way through. So that was really heartwarming to me, because I had a love and hate relationship with dance. But anyways, why I'm saying all this stuff is because your natural creativity and your natural state of being and naturally who you are before all of this logical, you need to survive, you need to be this, and you need to get this job title. It's like you understand that before this world you had no title. You were whole, love, and complete before anything you were here. Like being born into this world, you forget all that stuff, but then it's like the souls or whatever beings got trapped in this world, like like almost pull you along through this long journey of remembering yourself. They pull you along this like illusionary game of like forgetting even deeper, and then that's where I think you become a lost soul. Hence that also inspired one of my names, you know because of my emotional intelligence. And I would be up at night all the time, like at 3 a.m., pondering the existence and all of this stuff. I came up with the name Lunar Was Lost, hence is the other channel, if you guys are curious. But I talked about the origin of that. It goes deeper, but I just thought I would tell y'all, because that's what all of this is. Like, you are a divine being having a human experience. And yeah, see, even here I write your ego, that voice in your head, it's not you, but it's also you. So it's not you, it's the more condensed form of your God divinity gone chaotic. Your ego is meant to protect you, but also it's meant to protect you and keep you in line with what you want to experience. So if you have a bad concept of your ego or yourself, you're going to attract bad into your life. Now, you do have canon events that help you along the way, that some things that happen, that some people be like, oh, it is what it is, or things happen and blah blah blah. Well, the idea of things happen and all of that is actually supposed to point you back within yourself, to get you to realize, oh, this whole experience was about me. It's my perception, it's my reality, it's how I'm interacting with the external. It's like how I'm going to get back home. Home is where the heart is. All of that is here. That's why this whole journal is based on love. It really was. The first entry in this journal was a loving thing. So yeah, man. So anyways, um, I know I'm kind of going off, but I even had a Bible verse in here. My righteousness I hold fast and will not let it go. My heart shall not reproach me as long as I live. This was also how I started to get, I mean, years before this, because I'm meditating. This is one of the things I use to get my mind and heart and everything in order, to the point where my mind and my heart were like complete. Like, my mind, basically the chatter was blank. I was a super overthinker, but I found a way through using affirmations and meditating, especially Ho'oponopono meditation, where I was able to flip this, and my mind went completely blank. So anyone telling you that you can't turn off the chatter of the mind, it's totally not true. I'm living proof. I did it. My mind is like completely blank most days, and I'm filling my own head with what I want. It's like, or as one person stated, it's like my internal dialogue has become so tuned to just like a positive frequency, like not hating oneself and all these things that people go through, this, fighting with voices in their head. All of that dissipated from me. The chaosness of the, or chaoticness, I guess I would say, of the human mind and the human psyche. So I wrote this. That was May 21st. May 22nd, I wrote it again. My righteousness I hold fast. It's right here in the top corner. I'm trying to block certain things. I don't want to show too much because I really do want to keep this valuable for anyone who really wants to really see how I was writing it and how I was going insane. May 23rd. Actually, I can put it right there. Let's see if I can. Right there. So if you want to flip the video, but it says, "My righteousness I hold fast and will not let go. My heart shall not reproach me as long as I live." And I want this part, oh, wow, 12:22 too, also. But I want this part of the video to represent at least the beginning. We're just getting warmed up. I want to make them short, but stay tuned for part two because, yeah, man, I want to show you guys how I started to realize that no matter what technique you use or whatever you do, all of this is your inner power. So there's not anything special that anyone's doing with any of these techniques. Not to, and again, I want to say that not to diss anyone out there. And really, that's always what I'll stand by. Whatever techniques or tools or whatever works for you, works for you. But just know that all of these techniques are basically reminding you of how your mind works. Whether you want to talk about neuroplasticity or quantum physics or whatever, it's really your mind. That's why I like the 7 Hermetic Principles and made videos on them on my channel, Lunar Was Lost. Because if you follow, really all you need is like one book and then meditation, and you'll unlock everything. And you seriously will. I think you should still go out and broaden your expanse and see how other people find light and enlightenment through the career paths that they do, whether it be medicine, this, that. You should go and experience it all. But of course, when it comes to mastering yourself, yo, don't get confused out there with all the information out there, because honestly, it's really just you. But anyways, with that said, I love you guys. I'm gonna hop into the next one because I'm on a roll, and stay tuned.